What's up, Epic 7, and welcome to the first week of Fire Advent, Enraged Blazing Emissary. Now, this is widely regarded as one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult, of the Advent events. Today we're going to conquer the Hell team, and I'm going to give you a couple of different team options. First, I'm going to go with what I believe is the fastest way to clear this. I haven't found a faster one yet, at least. It will clear normal Hell in close to a minute. And that will give you a quick, fast way to farm it, and I'm going to use whatever units and gear I have access to. Then I will show you a more free-to-play team. No limited units, no ML5s, no limited artifacts, consistent and clear, and you can merge the two. They both work on the same theory, so you'll be able to go between the two and figure out what's best. So here is the super fast team. See something unusual about that first team? It's not a mistake. I've tried everybody in that third spot, and I can't make it faster than just running these two all by themselves. So here we go. First, Mercedes. Fire Mercedes, you just run her normal. I didn't give her any different than I normally run her. She's on counter set and on Magic for Friends. Martial Artist Ken. Martial Artist Ken is my normal RTA Martial Artist Ken, except I turned his imprint off to give Mercedes some attack buff, and I gave him Portrait of the Saviors for extra damage. It is the first 30 or first 50% health bar of the boss, so Portrait works the entire time. You could also run Tonfa or Symbol of Unity, any of that will work. Now, team number 2, this team is fire. First is my normal Conqueror Lilies. I didn't change anything on her. Artifact doesn't really matter. Speed doesn't really matter. In fact, if you run her slower, it might actually be a little cleaner. Next, we're going to use Fire Ken. Fire Ken is on a rage set, who cares? He doesn't need stats. All he needs to be is about 160 to 170 speed. He just needs to go before Camilla and before the bosses, and to have this number 2 EE artifact on, right? So that he gets the defense break on his dual attack. Dual attacks with the highest attack unit. He could literally just be wearing boots and probably no other gear and still work. Now we're going to run Commander Lorena. She's doing the heavy lifting on the team. I chose her because her S1 CR pushes and helps her cut, but making it a little bit faster. But you could run Luna, you could run Sirmia, any high-end nuking DPS unit. I put her on Our Beautiful Seasons for damage. Final team, we're going to run Amelia. She's there for the CR push and the attack buff to make this faster. And if you don't have Amelia, you can literally run any Ice Soul Weaver. You could run DN, you could run Momo, etc. We're going to use Corinne. Corinne I prefer because the boss will have greater damage reduction until he's been crit twice, and Corinne satisfies both those crits. She also stacks debuffs. I put her on the S3 EE to give us additional chance for bleeds, because the more debuffs on the target, the more pen that Sigrid gets. Very overtuned, high damage Sigrid. If you can't build her this strong, that's fine. She doesn't need to be this strong, but this strong gets things done. Don't worry about her EE. She's not going to use any of her other skills. She's just going to S3 and nuke it. Daydream Joker does work. Contrary to common belief, it works. It works at 50% power, though. And don't forget to take your pet. I've seen a lot of people suddenly say, oh my god, I've not been running a pet. It's 16.5% increased currency. You really want to bring your pet. Raging flames shall judge you now. Burn to the ground. Let there be nothing left but ashes in the wind. Hot damn, that's pretty level. Okay, so Mercedes has counter and Magic for Friends. Ken counters, especially when there's a crit. The boss typically crits. Magic for Friends procs takes out the skill null. Mercedes gives attack buff to the entire team. Counters and counters and counters. Look how fast it chews through this. Now, if you don't have a lot of counters, it can slow it down. If you find your units aren't surviving, throw a third unit on the team. Throw Ed on the team. Throw Spirit Eye Celine on the team. Throw Champion Zerato on the team. If you don't have Martial Artist Ken, run Champion Zerato, run Ed, run Shu, run Celine. There's a whole host of options. This team is so fire. You're going to love this. Conqueror Lilius S3 is applying Vigor to the entire team. Now when Ken has Vigor, his defense break ignores ER, which means it's guaranteed. It can never fail. This is 100% clear. Ken does his S2, doing the defense break, triggering a dual attack, pushing Commander Lorena up. Commander Lorena does her S3, way overkill, and you're into phase 2. In phase 3, you get hit with all these debuffs, but Amelia just takes care of all of that. Corinne hits with a crit once, Gives us defense break and a bleed, hits with another crit. Now we have removed the greater damage reduction because we've done 2 crits, and that allows Sigrid to come into those 5 debuffs and one-shot the boss. Now, if you don't quite one-shot, that's fine. You will have plenty more rounds to attack and kill and take this guy out, even if you don't quite have the chops to one-shot. But that was a fast clear, 76 seconds. I don't think you're going to squeeze much more speed out of it than that. So if you're looking for a good solid farming team and you have access to all these units, I think this is the fastest team out there. Now, maybe you don't have some of these units. Maybe you don't have these limited units or these ML5 units, and you need something that's a little bit more clean. So here is your as free-to-play friendly as we can get team. Now, first, we're going to swap out ML Ken for Champion Zerato, and we'll still run a 2-man team. Same Mercedes as before, just your standard RTA Mercedes. If she isn't built this well, that's fine. It'll just clear a little bit slower. Second is Champion Zerato, standard lifesteal build, nothing fancy about him. I did put him on portrait for extra damage, turned his imprint to AoE to let Mercedes have a little bit more attack. Team 2, instead of Conqueror Lilius, we're going to run Sinful Angelica. Sinful Angelica is there for the attack buffs and for a dual attack. I've got her on Prophetic Candlestick because I just didn't want to change her artifact. You can put her on anything. Her EE doesn't really matter either. Next, we're going to run Camilla. Camilla is going to get the attack buff from Sinji, so you don't have to worry about Tonfa or using her skills. We'll just have her skills off. I just gave her a damage boosting artifact to let Lorena hit a little bit harder. I like Lorena in this because of her S1 doing CR pushes, but you could run Sirmia, you could run Luna, you could run any DPS unit, but hey, it's a 3-star free unit from Connections. Everybody should have Lorena. Don't have to build her with that much damage. Just put her on a destruction set, free destruction set, and get through the stage. Final phase is Sigrid. I know she's a 5-star, but everybody can have her from the Hunt Challenge. I know she's overtuned on damage, but she does not need this much damage. This fight can go several rounds and be fine. On to Corinne. Corinne, if I can find the right button here. Corinne is built on a destruction set just for some additional damage because every little bit helps. Oh wait, this is a limited artifact. Let me move this off of here. We'll put Alabastron on her. She doesn't even need an artifact. The artifact just gives an additional debuff so that Sigrid's penetration hits harder. You can literally run her without an artifact. This team will still work. And we'll run Momo, right? You can run any blue Weaver. I do think you want to stick with a blue Weaver so you get the damage bonus, but you could run Angelica, you could run DN, you could run any Ice Weaver, and you're fine. And for the love of God, don't forget to take your pet for the extra currency bonus. For this fight, we're going to turn Champion Zerato's skills off for no other reason than that a defense break's not going to stick, and his S3 animation is long. Now, Mercedes has her counterattacks and her magic for friends, and that helps do damage too. You don't have to worry about Zerato attack buffing himself because you get a pack buff from Mercedes. What you're looking for is this burn debuff. You see, Magnar himself is immune to burn, so Zerato can't throw it back. So he's got that burn on him until it runs out, and that means every time he's hit, you get a free counter. Because as long as he's debuffed, he will do a counter when attacked, and he can't get rid of the debuff other than just letting it wear off. So once you get a debuff on Champion Zerato, he is a counter-attacking machine. Now, if you are struggling with surviving, if your units are dying because you aren't well geared enough to survive, or maybe your Champ Z isn't on a lifesteal set, just throw an extra unit in there. Throw a Weaver in there. Throw a Bloodstone carrying Ranger in there. Something to help you survive this. But you should chew through it pretty quickly with decent builds. Phase 2, in place of Conqueror Lilius, comes Sinful Angelica. She gives us an AoE attack buff. That way we don't have to worry about the attack buff on Camilla. We can have her skills off. She dual attacks. You got a defense break there. This is super fast. We missed the defense break. I specifically chose this run because everything goes wrong. We got no defense break there. Mercedes died on the first round. We got no defense break on the second dual attack.
Let's fight together.
Commander Lorena dies right at the end, but it still clears. And that shows that even with the worst possible RNG, you can still clear it. Now, phase 3, instead of Amelia cleansing, we have Momo cleansing. She gets rid of the debuffs, takes her turn again. Now we go up to Corinne. Corinne applies her attack or defense break and some bleeds, and then hits again. Sigrid drops her bomb without the attack buff. She doesn't quite one-shot, but as you can see, we have plenty of attacks left and way overkill the boss. She didn't even get to use her secondary swipe on that. At 1 minute and 58 seconds, this is pretty fast. It's only about 40 seconds slower than my fastest team. It is a very farmable team, and you can pick anything in between. Round 1 is the easiest. Round 2, you can mix and match. You can use Fire Ross, you can use Fire Ken, you can use a whole host of DPSs from Luna to Sirmia, as well as Commander Lorena. And the final round, Sigrid is your best bet, but you could pull off the final round with units like Luna on Sigurd's Scythe, and you could get rid of Corinne and run Furious, though it will slow it down a little bit because you won't have 2 crits right off the bat. It does add target with Song of Stars on Furious, allowing you to do a little more damage. I hope these teams help you out. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer them. I will link you a video that Sue did where he theory crafts a whole bunch of other teams as well, and maybe that will help you along the way if you're still confused. Don't forget to join my Discord, and especially don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great one, everybody.